Think about the vast plantations of the American South before the Civil War. Imagine sprawling fields of cotton, tobacco, and sugar cane, stretching as far as the eye could see. How was such an immense agricultural system built and sustained, becoming a cornerstone of American wealth? Yes, Southern cash crops were overwhelmingly dependent on forced labor. The agricultural economy of the American South, particularly from the late 1700s through the mid-1800s, was intricately and fundamentally linked to the institution of chattel slavery. Without the involuntary work of enslaved African people, the scale and profitability of these enterprises would have been impossible. This dependence stemmed from several critical factors. First, the nature of cash crops like cotton, tobacco, rice, and sugar required intensive year-round labor. These crops were labor-intensive from planting to harvest, often demanding precise timing and large workforces to achieve maximum yield. Second, the vast landholdings and extensive cultivation needed for these crops were made economically valuable only through the exploitation of a virtually free labor source. Enslaved people received no wages, and their basic needs were often met at the lowest possible cost, maximizing profits for enslavers. Third, the legal framework of slavery ensured a perpetual, captive workforce that could be bought, sold, and inherited, removing any labor supply uncertainties. This system enabled the American South to become a global agricultural powerhouse. To understand the depth of this reliance, consider the economic models employed. Plantation owners viewed enslaved individuals as capital assets, whose forced labor was essential for production. The value of these human beings was often assessed not by their humanity, but by their capacity for work, directly influencing market prices for crops and land. This economic structure meant that any threat to the institution of slavery was perceived as a direct threat to the entire Southern economy and the wealth it generated. The invention of the cotton gin by Eli Whitney in 1793 dramatically amplified this dependence. While the gin mechanized the separation of cotton fibers from seeds, making cotton production more efficient, it paradoxically led to an increased demand for enslaved labor. More cotton could be processed, which meant more land was planted with cotton, requiring more people to cultivate and pick it. This created a boom in the domestic slave trade, shifting enslaved populations from older tobacco-growing regions to the burgeoning cotton kingdom of the Deep South. The economic prosperity of the South was therefore not just linked to, but actively propelled by, the expansion and intensification of forced labor. Ultimately, the unparalleled success of Southern cash crops was built on a foundation of human exploitation. The immense profits generated from cotton, tobacco, and sugar cane fueled the region's economy and significantly contributed to the national wealth, all while denying basic human rights to millions. This system established a profound and lasting legacy on American society, shaping its economic, social, and political landscapes for generations.